the headlines today in the papers is just all about Rigathi Gachagua.
It is.
But also, there's an advert that's been taken, 2-page adverts have been taken by the National Assembly. This one. Yes?
What's wrong?
This one. It's 2 pages. What the National Assembly is saying is that this impeachment motion must go through public participation. In the matter of Article 118, 1B, 145, 1, 151B and 2 of the Constitution, and in the matter of consideration of the special motion for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, notifications of public hearings and invitations to submit views. So what the National Assembly is saying, in compliance with the Constitution, the Clerk of the National Assembly invites the public to make oral and or written submissions and representations on the special motion for the removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, in public hearings to be held on Friday, the 4th of October, 2024, across the country, coordinated from the 47 counties between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
You mean this thing is serious like this?
It's big, Buana. The public voted for Rigathi Gachagua. The public is going now to engage on this particular matter.
Because the public has representatives, and the public need to tell the representatives what they think.
How to vote.
Yes.
Okay?
They are our representatives, not their own representatives.
They're looking at all the 290 constituencies in the Republic, starting from Changamwe, going all the way to Mathare in Nairobi. Okay? And they say, for example, this in Mombasa sub-county, in Mombasa County, Changamwe, Jomvu, Kisauni, Nyali, Likoni, Mvita, all of you, if you go to Tononoka Social Hall on Friday, you can say, Mwataka Gachagua atoke nyumbani angatuliwe ama akae ofisini. If you are in Kwale, Msambweni, Lungalunga, Matuga, Kinango, meet at the Kwale Cultural Center. If you are in Kilifi, Ganze, Kaloleni, Kilifi North, Kilifi South, Malindi, Rabai, Magarini, go to the Coast Development Authority Hall in Kilifi, and so on and so forth. If you're in Nairobi we have Westlands, Dagoretti North, Dagoretti South, Langata, Kibra, Roysambu, Kasarani, Ruaraka, Embakasi South, Embakasi North, Embakasi Central, Embakasi East, Embakasi West, Kamukunji, Makadara, Starehe, Mathare. You go to KICC.
So let me ask you something.
Ask.
So on Fridays when all this thing will be done, eh?
Yes.
So 47 counties from
290 constituencies, let's put it that way.
290 constituencies between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Friday only. Because as far as from what I can see here, it's just on Friday.
It's just one day.
So between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., all 290 constituencies will have representation at different places in the 47 counties to come and say whether they feel or do not feel certain things. Now, after that, a compilation will take place because essentially what we know...
That's what's expected.
That is what is expected, not that we know it will take place. It is expected that the compilation of all these views, whether written or orally submitted, will take place. Then in order for, over the weekend, blah, blah, collect this side, because on Tuesday in the National Assembly, then the voting will happen.
And the voting
is going to be based
on the people's
participation.
Yes.
Okay. So we are assuming once again that everybody will come who should come, and their views will be compiled. Okay.
Ideally, I think it means basically that in all these 47 centers across the country, you'll have the MPs from those areas in these halls. All right? So for example, in CDF Hall, Kirinyaga Central, the MP for Mwea, for Geshogo, for Ndia, for Kirinyaga Central will all be at CDF Hall in Kirinyaga Central on Friday, the whole day, to listen to their people and to explain the motion as the staff from the clerk's office come to explain. This is the motion. This is what it means. Count number 1. Count number 2, because there are several. How many counts are they?
That's
11.
11. Can I tell you what they are? Right?
Yes, please.
All right. The first one, gross violation of articles. Walala, these are many articles that have been violated.
Blah, 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 blah. Constitution.
Wait. So let's just say gross violation of articles because there are many.
And what's the allegation
you want me to tell you what they are? The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has significantly undermined national unity and the peaceful coexistence of Kenya's diverse communities by persistently making inflammatory, what's inflammatory in Kiswahili, and insightful utterances threatening to discriminate, exclude, and unlawfully deny sections of the people of Kenya and regions of the Republic of Kenya equal opportunities for public service appointments and allocation of public resources. That's just one count.
Count number 2.
Thank you very much. Gross violations of articles, blah, blah, to blah, blah. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has made unilateral public statements inconsistent with policy positions collectively adopted by the government and contradicted the President on critical matters of governance and the exercise of the President's function as a symbol of national unity.
So he expressed his own freedom of expression.
He used his brain, and they said that's a violation.
And the brain was against was not what the President had said. All right.
So that's a violation.
Number three,
another gross violation. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, interfered with the running of Nairobi City County government by inciting citizens against lawful directives of the county government on the planning and relocation of markets and publicly disparaging the leadership of the county government and its decisions. In other words, aliambia
watu wa
Arthur Sakaja, where my younger brother atutaki. Number 4, I can continue.
Continue, please.
Gross violation again. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has undermined the institutional and decisional independence of a judge through public attacks on a judge of the High Court of Kenya and falsely threatening to file a petition for the removal of the said judge in a matter in which he was a party.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Uh-huh.
Another one. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, breached his oath of office and allegiance on the account of utterances and actions attributed to the Deputy President under grounds 1, 2, and 3 of the special motion. So you see now those 1, 2, 3 that we had read in the beginning.
Above.
This one now has added
that was a breach
ones.
of the oath of office.
Yar.
Okay.
Number 6.
Which breach
of the
breach
of the and that is what has constituted
oath.
Yes, oath of office and allegiance.
The one he uttered.
The one he mixed up in Kasarani. Yeah.
Okay.
You get it? No, but okay. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has persistently made inflammatory, reckless, and insightful public utterances over the last 2 years in contravention of the law. Yani, in the last 2 years, he's just been
spewing.
And they said, cannot be. There's still more, but we're almost
7.
there. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has committed gross economic crimes, namely conflict. Yes, this one is gross. Conflict of interest, abuse of office, and conspiracy to commit crimes by inexplicably amassing property estimated at 5.2 billion shillings that is incompatible with his known legitimate income and by trading with the office of the Deputy President through proxies. Where?
Now this becomes an issue.
Yar.
When we're swearing in certain... Anyway, carry on.
The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has publicly attacked and undermined the work of the National Security Intelligence Service and its officers. Gross misconduct by openly or publicly insubordinating the President, who is the head of state and government. This one is in red. It doesn't even have black again.
It doesn't need explanation.
No.
If you don't get it, just get out.
It.
Yes.
Oh, there's another one. The special motion alleges that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has over the past 2 years persistently bullied state and public officers.
So now you are expected to appear in all these 47 centers across your counties to tell your MP whether you agree with this or you disagree with the counts, okay?
Or if you even understand what the counts are.
And you even guide your MP on how to speak. So, for example, Masai Technical Institute Hall, if you are from Kajiado North, Central, East, West, South, please go to Masai Technical Institute Hall on Friday. And you expect that all these MPs will be there on that day. Higher. William Kabogo is the former governor of Kiambu County. He's a party leader. First. He was the very first governor of Kiambu County.
Yes.
What's your party called again?
Tujibebe wa Kenya party.
Tujibebe wa Kenya.
Jibebe.
I told you.
Jipange.
Jibebe. Tujibebe wa Kenya party. Yes. Party leader. He's our guest now. Good morning, William.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
I was around. And I thank you for inviting me, although abruptly.
Yeah.
We thank you
I'm
for
always
accepting
available.
Ulikuwa within.
Nilikuwa within. Unajua sasa ni wakati wa kuzungumza. Those of us who've been quiet for a while, we need to start talking.
Very good.
The current affairs are worrying. More so because it's a national conversation. before ilikuwa hiasi. Sasa umeisoma hiyo
Now it's
yote.
official.
It's official.
Yep.
If I would hate to be in that situation, as a leader, as a politician, I would hate to be in the deputy president's situation.
Let's talk about that shortly. City, why don't you welcome the first governor of Kiambu County with the day's proverb?
Yes. Our proverb for the whole of this week have been from the Republic of Gambia, the Gambia. He who sleeps on a borrowed mat is sleeping on a cold, very cold ground.
Sasa
He who
hiyo,
sleeps on a
it is
on a borrowed mat.
self-explanatory according to me. Umelalia mkeka wa wenyewe. Mwenyewe huenda akavuruta anytime. Kwa hivyo ujipange. So I take it literally as it is.
You've taken it well,
Yes.
because that is exactly what it means.
Yes.
Mkeka si wako.
Si wako bana.
Yes.
Si wako wazima.
Usirarue,
Usirarue.
wewe lalia tu.
Kama suruali ya
Mwenyewe
kuwazima.
akitaka atachukua.
Haisitiri matako.
Yes.
Suruali ya kuwazima. It's just,
That is it.
it should not fit you.
No.
Si yako bana. Haya. You hate to be in the position
Truly, I would hate, and I sympathize. I sympathize. Partly, I want to avoid looking like I have made up my mind that the deputy president must go, but he needs to deal with those issues. The last few weeks, there were not issues. It was hearsay. No, Murima, inapigwa, nini. And I said to myself at some point, please don't drag us there. This Mulima is a very sensitive place, mambo ya kisiasa. Because kwa hiyo block, watu wote huiona like a voting block. But I say to myself, I look back now and look at the last 2 years. My deputy president, what has he been doing? You understand? He may have been impeaching himself. You understand?
No.
I'm saying William Ruto had issues with Uhuru Kenyatta. He managed to navigate in very extraneous circumstances. He managed somehow, to deal with those issues.
Did William manage or did Uhuru manage to ignore?
Well, you need to be able to be managed or manage.
Oh, okay.
One of the two. Or play around. Sugarcoat when needs be. When you're together, inama. You understand? And it's never been an issue for us in the mountain that if he had come to us, for example, and said, these Mau Mau roads that Uhuru started, pesa yake nimejaribu iwekwe, wamekataa. That is an issue that touches very many counties in the Mulima. You understand? Tuliweka pesa ya kahawa, hawa watu wakatoa. That is another issue. You understand? So that you are telling us from here, we participated in making government, but we are not getting services. You understand? And Kenya is not Mulima, neither is Mulima Kenya. You understand? It's part of Kenya. So please, the rest of the world should not look at us as people who just like to complain. We now have an issue. It's a mountain, and we need to deal with it. We need to deal with it. It is now Rigathi Gachagua, His Excellency. It is his issue now. You understand?
Munamruka.
I'm saying, you have
Because
read
as
you have read the charges, Latiff.
Yes.
You understand? Even if Kabogo wanted to help, yeah, how do I come and explain the hotels? How can I help Rigathi? He's the only one who can tell us, I took a loan of this much to buy these things. You understand? You get? I did this to get this. You have been charged. No matter how much we feel for him, you cannot go there and help him. It is him who has to wriggle out of this thing. You understand? And politics aside, surely. This is not the deputy president of Nyeri. He is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya.
Don't you think, William, that the charges are coined in such a way that they make him sound and appear to be the deputy president?
You know, the lawyer of an alleged criminal who has killed someone, they come to court to fight to get them off the hook.
Yep.
And use any means possible legally. And dance in court and make sure that everybody looks like this is coined. You understand? But it is coined. It is there. It is done. It is imezungushwa mpaka imeshonwa. Sasa iko hapo ni charge. You have to deal with it even if it was a court of law. No matter how much emotions it may carry, at some point, he has to deal with it.
What is deal?
Yeah?
What is deal?
To deal with it.
Yeah.
He has to find a way of coming out of this.
How does he do that?
Well, he needs to know. I know what I would do if I were him, but surely.
Mwambie bwana, you would help a brother.
You know, sometimes in Africa we don't do some things that make us look very honorable. If I were him, I would resign. If it has gotten this far, I would quit. I would live to fight another day.
What change does it make?
What change does it make?
Yeah. If you're removed by impeachment or you resign.
No, once you're moved by impeachment, this thing dies off. Yes. The idea is to remove him, isn't it? He has removed himself. He will have a chance to fight another day.
He can
But if
vie,
this goes
he
through,
can vie for another state office.
I would not vie another state office if I've gone to the level of deputy president. I would not. You know, there are times you wish the ground opens, splits, and you enter. That's where I feel now I am. You know, the country is bleeding. You know, even for William Ruto, as we speak now, it is not actually the best thing. No. This is complicated and muddy and bad for everyone.
William, do you think that what we are seeing
know what
now,
I'm saying?
what we are being fed at the moment,
I know
William,
exactly
do
what
you
you're
think
saying.
it is diversionary, or do you think that it should not actually be taking center stage in the manner in which it is because of the bleed that Kenya is going through at the moment? There's so many things that are going wrong that we should actually be paying a lot of attention to. But here we are, every day Parliament is talking about this thing.
You need to be very careful when you're in certain offices. You may be working very hard, but working very hard to remove yourself. I said this in the beginning. You understand? Look back 2 years from the date of swearing in. I heard you talk about swearing in. Track the movements of the deputy president. You understand? When Uhuru was fighting with Ruto, because I was there, I could see the fight.
You were seeing it.
I was seeing it. You will still find the deputy has some time to go and speak to Kenyans about what government is doing.
And to launch
It is only at the last tail where he came openly now and started throwing savos at Uhuru. Because it was almost now election time. But here we are mid-term of their first term. And before it gets here, you know it's been ugly. We are hearing things now. You understand? There have been issues inside there. Oh, sijui nani ameshikwa kola, itumbi sijui nani, all these things. And it is not policy or development. It is just small issues. The other day we had about 10 billion. What are these things, Latiff? Why are we talking money?
It's bad manners.
Why are we talking
Like
money?
Ndu is suggesting, this is bad manners by the two.
You're asking why
Even when
money, William?
Yes.
We talk about money because at the heart of this problem is always money.
money is the issue.
There's always political issues of this nature. My friend, everything is fluff around it. Look, the history of this country with these issues, just try. Let's just start where we started witnessing these things. Go back into history. The question will be, how far back do you want to go into history? Where we now saw this thing playing out when people were more aware was when somebody called Josephat Karanja
was kicked out through Mwenje.
Yes, it always, in those days, this is more refined. This one, we even reading about it. That one was just a clarion call, and then people were asked to join in. People joined in. Some people even pointed out, Kamodo was unfortunate, he said this guy is supporting somebody else, and the somebody else at that time was Njonjo. The same issue. Now, if you look at the problem that was there, how is it that Njonjo, a man whom they claimed wanted to overthrow the government, wanted to do this, wanted to do the other, and then everything just kept quiet, and that was it?
Yes. Since when did we start hearing about an impeachment? It's been a while, Latiff. It came sometime 3-4 months ago. It fizzed off. At that point, His Excellency, the Deputy President, should have started looking at things differently, managing his situation. Because it is his situation with his boss. And surprisingly, there is nothing you can say about William Ruto on this one. He has kept quiet completely, by design or by ignorance or as a strategy. You understand, he has not said anything. And that speaks a lot. He is managing himself. You understand that? He is managing himself. And quite so well. Now the ball is in the hands of the National Assembly.
Yeah.
And they have a big issue to deal with. When it comes to giving evidence and it is laid out there, my village mate, he has to learn quickly how to deal with these issues.
But, William, but there's this other matter of a precedence. In this day and age, and the constitution we have, and what you set in motion, those who are baying for the Deputy President's blood, have they considered what they are going to set in motion with everything that you are doing now? Because I said this in the morning, and this is what I said. Okay, we've read, we've heard. Who is it who is in high office whom we can't point fingers at for the same things?
Yes.
To a greater or lesser degree. Who? People who have wealth whose origin is really shaky at best. Who? Let's not talk about other governments. This particular government.
You know, last night, sitting, I was watching social media. That's where you get the real news of who is doing what. Except now there's AI, so some things would be manufactured. Some lady came, I don't know, MP for where. She said, "You are asking the Gade Kashangwa where he got these hotels and all these things. Can we start from the top?" This is an MP saying. We find out who has what until MCA. What was she saying? What was she saying? That it is okay to have these things. So let us punish everyone who has.
Nani ajaiba?
Kofupi.
I was following on what you are saying, yes. So, it may be a beginning of something bigger. And those who have amassed wealth in this manner, they should start spending sleepless nights.
The problem is, William, this is not on principle at all.
I am saying, Latiff, I'm saying.
I'll be looking at it as president if the principle here has been set. For example, what we see.
No, I was thinking where City left, that now we have started this.
Yeah.
Who cannot?
It can expose anyone.
Go? Yes. It can go to anyone.
Right.
It could go to his boss.
Touch anybody now.
It could go to his boss.
Do they know what they've set in motion? Because you've laid it out.
And if that is the standard that you're going to use to apply, that would set rules for, standards for, then who can it not touch?
Yeah, precisely.
If we were in UK, many people would have resigned today or yesterday.
But yes.
But here, we don't resign.
And first governor of Kiambu County is here in the studio with us, and we're looking at what we are seeing now coming out of Parliament, which is now coming countrywide. to go through the motion of impeachment. If you look at it, William, there's a political process here, and there's then counts that have been leveled, and they're quoting, sections of the Constitution, articles of the Constitution, and principles of law and governance and public service. Do they matter?
Really, from where I sit, I think they're trying to enlarge the discussion and take it to the people. But I want to hide under Article 1. Sovereignty of this nation is vested on the people, done by themselves directly or through their elected leaders. This matter is on the table of the elected leaders. But probably, because it's a national matter, they want to open it up. But as you said earlier, how do you have a conversation in Kiambu Town Hall with 2 million Kiambuyans? It's impossible. Be that as it may, let's see how it all unfolds. But it may be an exercise in futility.
It's just a rubber stamping exercise. Somehow.
It's probably opening it up for people to vent, and say what they think. But at the end of the day, it will still go back to the house.
It goes back there.
Yes.
Do you think they'll even look at, does it matter if you quote Article 2, Article 3, Article 215, Article 275 of the Constitution?
The only issue here is records speak. And at this time and age of digital world, those conversations in those counties will be recorded. And they will be part of our archives. So at any one point, Latiff and Kabogo want to see what the people of Garissa said. We should be able to access. You can manipulate who comes and what happens. But the discussion will be available. So who will be talking is another matter. You understand? They may be dragging this matter too far. As it is very huge. Very huge. And I said I would hate to be in that situation. Believe you me, if it were me, I would run.
You would resign immediately?
I would run, man. I would run.
The things that we are talking about when we talk about contravention of the Constitution are actually serious things, because we talk about the Constitution being the sovereign law upon which Kenyans and the government will operate, under which will operate. So if you see any contravention of the Constitution, those are serious things. But it does seem as though they're being thrown about in a frivolous manner, like, okay, let's throw something and let's see if it'll stick, But if we look at it from that point of view,
if we're not careful.
Yeah, if we look at it, and again, I'm just coming back to the danger that it poses, whereby anybody is going to be able to say, well, here's something that the Constitution says, and if I feel like you looked at me left, that's what I'm going to throw at you and say, well, that's in contravention of the Constitution. And it's almost as if we're watering down the potency of the supreme law. Because 11 counts, okay, that's quite something, but is it, and I keep going back to this because I cannot wrestle myself away from it, that are these things of such grave importance that we're able to be encapsulated by it for the last 2 weeks and maybe counting, whereby there is a myriad of other things that needs to be handled by the same House of Parliament that should be focused on?
If you ask me, we lost it when we lost value for the rule of law. Bad or good, the law is the fabric of a good society. If it's not working, fix it. When Kimunya said as a minister that title deeds are papers, I got very worried. Banks got too worried, they stopped lending money with title deeds. Till today, that's a problem. These same guys who are going to do this thing in the villages, they've been told CDF is unconstitutional, and they're still pushing it. It's been told unconstitutional 3 different times. By different benches, up to 5 benches. Why wouldn't they give it up and tell the country, yes, mahakama imesema, it is unconstitutional. So until that matter is reviewed or an appeal goes through, it is unconstitutional and be treated as such. So sometimes it is good when it favors them. Right now, there's a motion to increase the term of the
Presidency.
and I don't know who else. What do they want?
What's important?
Do good 5 years, get another 5 from the people, from your good work. You understand?
Stop thinking of 11.
The other thing Parliament is forgetting, because it's been put there that their term will be increased. You know that there's nothing you can do according to the law to benefit yourself in Parliament. It will benefit the next one. So there's no way they can extend theirs. Is that the conversation Kenya wants to have right now about extending the
Term limits
of the president? I'm not sure that William Ruto wants to extend his term. It would be nice to be a president an extra 2 years.
Will it really? With the sort of turmoil that we have in the country, will you really want to be a president for another 2 years?
But you know, City, in a few days, 900, we will be going to an election.
Yes.
Who elects these people? Who elects us? It is you, Mwananchi.
True.
I line up ahead of you, I cast my vote, and you cast yours. For me, these clowns have been elected by people. You understand? So when will Kenya change if we continue electing them? Alafu unaweka kura baada ya mwaka tano kulia. Unalia 5 years.
Alafu unarudi
The
unafanya
day of
same
election,
mistake.
unatoka asubuhi na mapema, unapiga laini 5-6 hours, unajifix. Ndio ulie 5 years. Ndio ulie 5 years. Kama sasa Gen Z wanafanya vizuri accountability, si ndio? But Ruto must go. If he had gone then, they had gone to sell and he had gone, what would have happened? You know, we don't think beyond something. You should see to the horizon. What next? They were saying, oh, speaker holds for I don't know how many days and then an election. Election by who? Conducted by who?
And we do not have...
We do not have an IEBC. We must stop just throwing things into the air. You understand? We must do things within a framework that is explainable within our constitution. There are ways of removing a president just like this one. True or not true? It is there in the Katiba how to remove a president.
William, there was a time when we were told that Idi Amin was going to attack Kenya.
Yes.
And that he was going to claim part of his land which ended at Naivasha. So that western part, western nini yote was going to go to Uganda.
Na tulikuwa tumeona saa hiyo ameweka viwete baharini.
Baharini, yes.
So a threat from that kind of man, it must be taken seriously.
And people demonstrated in Kenya.
Yes.
Demonstrated. But the question you want to ask, what was happening in Kenya at that particular time? What else was happening? What was happening to the presidency at that particular point?
Wasn't it the change the constitution movement?
Precisely.
Yes.
Precisely. There are things which, whether we like it or not, are diversionary. They happen so that your attention is taken elsewhere. Because since this matter of the deputy president gained momentum and actually became the center stage, nobody talks about cost of living. Nobody talks about, well, we did, the people who have died needlessly in this country. Nobody talks about hospitals that have no drugs. Forget the problems that we're talking about now. Nobody talks about schools and the capitation that they have not received. This thing is center stage on everything. As if when this man or the process comes to whatever end it's going to come to, okay, the issues that we had before, will they have moved even an inch?
This is my question. That okay, let's move forward in future if it's possible. Let's what's that Teleport.
Yeah, we can teleport.
We can teleport into the future, maybe some 2 weeks into the future. So now let's say that in the future we see that impeachment has gone through. So suddenly, now when that has happened, if it does happen, education will be sorted. This thing that people are going to hospital today, they can't get medical services because of SHA shift or whole debacle will be sorted out. Infrastructure in the country suddenly, miraculously, at the snap of finger will be sorted out. Will we then suddenly have a robust system whereby corruption is taken care of? The thing that has everybody with rapt attention right now that's supposed to be making sure all these other things are taken care of, they are doing this thing. So now when this impeachment, should it happen, are we saying that it is the stumbling block to all of these other things happening, and that they get rid of it or they get rid of him, then suddenly we'll all see all these things falling into place, falling dominoes.
You will have an executive that is serving the people and not amassing wealth. That's what you're going to have.
Well, that's what's going to happen
You're
now.
going to have the chairman of
Whoever has
IBEC.
caused this to happen is causing what City is saying at the moment. It has taken center stage. Whoever has caused it, I do not want to cast aspersions on anyone, but it is here. The elephant is here. But once it leaves, all those other things will go back to where they were. 3
That's
weeks
what
ago.
I'm asking.
You understand? We'll be talking about the life insurance fund or hospital insurance fund. We shall be talking about capitation. Some may say these people derailed us to deal with these problems. You understand? Because human beings are interesting. They take advantage of situations as they emerge. So let's deal with it. This, you can't run away from it. No, it's here.
It's here?
It's here. We can't stop it.
It's constitutional.
We can't stop it. It's there. The train has left the station. So let it go. But is it going to go and leave us better?
Exactly. Is it going to suddenly place? Is it going to place upon the minds of people who are responsible for making the law and representing people
we need
that we
to
should
blame
focus?
both of them because they didn't manage their
internal
marriage. You understand? Lakini hufika mahali bibi anasema huyu wacha mimi nihame. Huyu nitakufa nikiishi na yeye. I am sure they must have tried to manage their problems.
Now the matter is before elders in a public gathering.
And wote wawili ni kichwa ni ngumu. Unaniona?
So it's a character clash.
I was in the room. I mean, I don't think.
I want to take you back there. I want to take you back there, okay? In Karen, in 2022,
yes,
we were treated to a weekend of drama.
Yes.
Before the announcement was made that the running mate for William Ruto
2 days
is good. Yes, it was 2 days. Just some drama. I don't know, we're hearing there were polls that are being conducted. Let's call people. We call people and ask them, who would you prefer? It comes this way. Let's do another poll. Let's talk to the leaders who are present. The leaders are asked, who do you prefer? You present your list. It comes this way. It comes.
That is the real story. The last one.
Some people dropped out.
The latter.
The leaders.
Yes, leaders.
By majority, those who were running with the Kenya Kwanza,
kitchen cabinet then,
they did not want this person.
Yes.
They voted for somebody else.
Yes.
Right now, we are hearing this impeachment has been brought up by MPs,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And other ground leaders. And they're the ones who are saying, this guy is whatever. They're saying he's been arrogant, he's rude to fellow leaders. I suspect it's the same people who did not put a tick against his name.
Maybe some of them, because I know the group that was there. Without naming people, I was in that meeting.
So some of them.
I was in that meeting. It was very heated.
Why?
The Honorable William Ruto, His Excellency the President, opened up a discussion with leaders to help him identify a good deputy president. And presentations were done by a good team of people who had done a lot of research, saying if Tinga and Martha are the candidates on that side, which combination of William Ruto and who would be best suited to
Counter that one
and win. So when that presentation was done, the best combination at that point, mark my words, at that point, don't ask me about today,
By the technocrats.
was a mixture of William Ruto and Kindiki. Would have done better against Tinga
And Martha.
and Martha. And that was the discussion there. And I remember that we were about 24 thereabout. The discussion went sana deep until they decided we are going to take a vote. Whether people had lobbied for those people or not, I do not know, because I came just like an hour before now what's happening. And sure, as night follows day, pop, vote was done. This guy got 3, my deputy president. I think Anne Waiguru got 1. I said I'll not name names.
Alice.
But you haven't named names.
It's just
So
continue.
someone else got 1, and this other one got 20. I think 20 or 21.
So a majority.
90%.
Right.
Okay.
And the decision was communicated to them. They were brought back in. They were told this is the position, and we said we'll stand by it. That's the decision. They were given a chance to. I'm talking about something that I should not be talking about, but I'm saying we are in this thing now.
We're where we are.
We are where we are.
Deal.
And the Honorable Gachagua stood up and said, I've heard what you people have done, but I had no discussions with you people. My discussions were with
This guy.
guy.
The candidate.
Yes. So my problem is him. Hapo.
Mbele ya watu.
So anyway, many things happened between that minute and midnight and the next morning when we went in to announce the team is so and so.
Get an election at midnight.
But you have
This
heard
midnight
people
story.
saying bang the table inside the office. You know, I'm not discussing the merits of this thing, but Pene Moshi,
Palipo na moshi.
Moto.
usually these two people would have managed their problems for Kenya to have an easy time. But they didn't. One is talking, one is not talking. I sympathize with the one who is talking.
William, you have been in a position of extreme power yourself.
Extreme.
Yes. A governor is akin to a president.
Very
I mean,
good.
the powers of a governor are immense. It's serious power. There's always a discussion about how it changes people.
Yes.
Are we seeing such a thing?
Yes and no. Yes and no. We have a problem now as a country. We need to deal with it, and we should not let this thing tear up our country. I don't think it has the capacity to, but we should be careful.
We should take this
Deputy
as,
governors must have worries like hell. You know, they will be impeached left, right, and center. And you know, if I was to change the constitution, that is the first place I would go to.
that one.
Yes.
And change it in what direction?
That if the remainder of a term is more than 11 months, you go back to the people. If you impeach a governor 3 years to the election, you go back to the people. Go and get a fresh mandate.
Rudy Kwadebe.
Because right now, every deputy governor sitting, he has an opportunity to become governor just through Senate.
Evo too. William, our
Evo
time
too.
is up.
You
Well, thank you
understand?
very much for coming today. Come again.
Asante.
Come again. Let's chambua this thing more as time progresses.
Spice.